I go first?
You go first.
All right.
You said you were going to beat me at chess.
Yeah, no. I know. No, watch. G4. Get the bishop out.
I'm just going to play simple chess. I'm just putting my pawn in the center of the board. Nothing
Okay.
secret.
I move my... She's not going to see this fucking coming.
Flat.
Hello everybody, I'm not dead yet, and in case you weren't in the loop, Remington James actually released a response video to the allegations levied against him by Exercise for Cheat Meals, and the response to it has been interesting to say the least. So, I am here to give my thoughts on the entire situation and give you guys a little bit of insight as to what Remington James actually did in that video, as well as, prove that he's lying? So I guess that kind of gives away my opinion on his apology. However, at the start, I really liked it, and I thought that the arguments he brought up were rather valid. How he's like, okay, that was new. That was me when I was new to YouTube, just trying to put content out. I didn't have that massive a following, and I didn't really think anybody actually cared. However, it's in the second half of the video that I and many other people seem to have our qualms, because he essentially goes on this rant of how hard he works and how that was before, and that if you wanted to draw lines with string on a dartboard, you can try to find similarities, but they just aren't there, and that you'd be really, really reaching for it, and that he doesn't even look at recipes at all because he doesn't want to be subliminally influenced. And so he basically gives a sorry, not sorry, and walks off. He says he does not want to bow to people. And people took issue with that, but I believe a lot of people weren't exactly able to pinpoint why. A lot of people were like, oh, well, it's a bad attitude for an apology video, and while it certainly is, I think I can actually pinpoint the reason why people are upset, and it boils down to one simple term: plausible deniability. What is plausible deniability, you ask? Well, here, I'll read you the definition, and then I will explain it in layman's terms. So, according to Urban Dictionary, and I know Urban Dictionary isn't the greatest source, but I liked this definition the best, so we're using it. Plausible deniability, a condition in which a subject can safely and believably deny knowledge of any particular truth that may exist because the subject is deliberately made unaware of said truth, so as to benefit or shield the subject from any responsibility associated through the knowledge of such truth. What does that mean in layman's terms? You can't prove I did it. One of the best examples I can give of plausible deniability is when John Cena was asked if he does steroids, and his reply was, "You can never prove that I do."
My answer to that question, have you ever used steroids, is the only thing I can say. I can't tell you that I haven't, but you'll never be able to prove that I have.
That is plausible deniability. You cannot prove me wrong. It's the same deal when companies do something like they roll out a car without airbags and a bunch of people die, and then they recall it going, oh no, this was an oversight, we had no idea. Bullshit. You didn't. But there is one key issue with the shield of plausible deniability, and that is the fact that the subject must believably be able to deny it. Meaning, if we can prove that he is not just a dishonest man, but dishonest specifically about the claims made when he was using plausible deniability, that shield no longer applies. And he basically said that it was impossible. He basically stood up and said, you can't find anything linking me to other recipes after the ones mentioned, and anyone who does is a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist. And to me, that felt like a challenge. That felt like I am challenging you to find something to link me to other recipes. Right? I think he believes himself to be untouchable. How did I end my last video on this topic again? Oh yeah, I remember. Liars need to have an amazing, incredible memory. Because they have to remember their lies and they have to keep their story straight. And it seems like Remington may not have that great of a memory. Because Remington James underestimated one thing about me. I do not back down from a challenge. So, in this case, I rose to the occasion and completed his challenge. I did exactly what he challenged the internet, the community, to do, and I found evidence to dismantle that shield of plausible deniability. Let's roll the 2 clips. So what I'm going to first do is roll the clip from his apology video and show you guys exactly what he did to attempt to deflect some of the blame and some of the criticism levied against him. And then I will show you a clip from the video Anabolic Peanut Butter Cups. Simple, high-protein, bodybuilding peanut butter cup recipe posted January 31st of this year. Ready? Let's go.
I try my hardest not to copy anybody. I purposely refuse to watch any other anabolic recipe videos just so I don't accidentally, even subconsciously copy anybody. I go out of my way not to do it. I honestly do. And I want to stress something to you guys that I found out when I was working on this recipe. A lot of times I'll look at other people's videos, I'll try to get inspiration just to kind of see how other people are doing things and seeing what I can tweak and make better. And when I was looking at peanut butter cup recipes, man, here is the problem with everybody's definition of health these days, right? People are telling you they got a healthy recipe. And what they mean when they say that, they don't care about the calories, they don't care about the fat, they don't care about the protein, they don't care about none of it. What they're referring to is healthier, more organic ingredients. And it really blew my mind when I was seeing some of these peanut butter cup recipes where their definition of health was just using natural peanut butter, using like full fat oils, using organic chocolate, and just having no regard for the overall calories as a whole.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Check fucking mate, Remington. Because you don't look at recipes. You purposefully avoid looking at the ingredients list because you do not want to be subliminally influenced by those ingredients. And yet in that video, you were able to list off ingredients from other peanut butter cup recipes that were made before your own. Not only that, the criticism of, oh, this was all in the past, you guys are overreacting, no longer stands because that video was posted this year. 3 months ago. Oh, I was such a different person 3 goddamn months ago. And listen, I know people can change over the course of 3 months, but I really do not think it applies to Remington in this case. And now I know that when Remington James underestimated me and this little community here, we are also underestimating the amount of people that follow Remington James like sheep, the amount of people who will jump off a cliff if Remington James says it's anabolic. And so I want to answer the question, why do we care? Why do I care? Because there are a lot of people like this idiot, I think I'll put it here, this guy, this idiot right here, and I want to answer the question of why should you care? And that is because Remington James is profiting off of people's generosity. His cookbook, he paints himself, he markets his cookbook as him being the nice guy. I am going to put out my recipes for free on YouTube, but if you guys want to support me, there is the cookbook that you can buy to support me. And through that support, he was able to move to Texas, buy his dream home and his dream car. And the reason why he was able to do that was because of the generous support of his audience. And yet, he is unwilling to give any kind of generosity like that to anybody else, except for maybe the taller, the bigger creators, because he has to. Because those bigger creators have their own fan bases that will attack him if they do not get their shout-outs. Also, the reason why he tends to kind of shout out the bigger creators is because those are the people that he can collab with to further his own social status. He doesn't see shouting out little channels as profitable. However, shouting out someone like Sush or Greg, who have their own audiences that could eventually mix into his, now that is a monetary incentive, and that is why you should care. Because at the end of the day, we in this little anabolic community are a very, very vocal minority. We have to remember that we are going up against a monster here. Because the monster here isn't necessarily Remington James, it's the over 500,000 people that willfully turn a blind eye and say, I do not care. So we have to figure out a way to make them care. It's that famous quote from the Lorax, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And so what I want you all to do is share this video, talk about this, make this well known. Oh, and if Remington James decides to private or delete that video to hide evidence, because he did say that he was going to delete some of the recipes that he copied, but at the end of the day, I believe he'd be deleting almost his entire channel. So if he does try and delete that video to hide evidence, I already have it downloaded to my computer. If he privates that video, I will re-upload it. If he strikes down my video, I'll re-upload it again. If he strikes down my channel, I'll create another one and continue to re-upload it until something happens. I refuse to let Remington James sweep this under the rug, and neither should you. There are a lot of other creators who are working to make sure that justice is served in this case. Exercise for Cheat Meals, The Iron Musket, Soria Bassnet, and a bunch of others. Big shout out to Lucas Shipman or Zany for helping me figure out how to find that clip again, because I was looking for like an hour, and it was with Lucas's help I was able to do it. There is a dedicated group of people that want fairness, integrity, and justice. And if you do too, spread this video around, raise awareness, and do not let a selfish, self-serving, lying, cheating son of a bitch like Remington James get away with this. But until all this resolves, and until the next video I put out, I am not dead yet. And if you aren't either, I am going to fight to my channel's last breath to make sure some semblance of justice is served, and I hope you guys will rally behind me and everyone else fighting.